Ray Egon.
Now, back to PTR Radio.
Spectacular group of men. You go find them, you throw your arms around them, you give them a big kiss on the mouth.
This is PTR Radio.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb.
Yeah, wow. We're 4 minutes early and had the short intro.
Yeah. This episode tonight brought to you by Ski Citrus Soda. That's right, Ski Citrus Soda. When you need lemon and orange, and you think, what? The what? That's not going to work. Yes, it does. Ski Citrus Soda. Look for it by name.
Endorsed by Griffin.
Yes. Heavily endorsed by the Blair clan. I did another run. I don't know how many people actually saw the picture of my trunk. Mike, did you happen to see that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I missed that.
I had about 8 12 packs of Diet in there. A 12 pack of Red, and then a couple of assorted bottles because I thought I had finally found Tropical.
Wasn't?
No, it wasn't. The what had happened was it was on a vending machine outside, and regular Ski is green, has a green label. It had been sun bleached to blue, which is the color of Tropical.
Yes.
So I messed up yet again.
So you've answered the question that nobody's asked.
Uh-huh.
How much Ski can you fit into the trunk of a brand new Accord?
Oh no, I didn't fill it up. I just started a little bit. You know, trust me. I bet I could get almost a pallet in that car.
Nice.
That trunk has enough to hold 3 dead Italians.
You want to play?
Yeah. So
Want to play? I'll bring my truck.
So yeah, that I'm sure Mike can carry a lot more than I can, but
How much Ski will fit into the back of a Chevy Tahoe?
a lot.
It's probably very similar to answering the question, how much could I fit into my old convertible? If you put the top down, you can go vertical a long ways.
Well,
Safely fit.
I'll safely fit into, yeah.
a little bit different, but so the actually I'm gonna play with this. So if you're watching us on YouTube right now, flip over to Facebook. We're just gonna do Facebook tonight, I think, because I'm gonna try something different.
I've never mentioned that, Mike, but I used to do that. I used to buy something large, like a bicycle or a mower.
Okay.
And come in this giant box, and they'd bring it out, and they'd see this little car, and they'd be like, do you want to strap it to the roof? I'm like, nope, but it's got rid of the roof. And I said, throw it in the back seat.
Yeah. So
Wasn't that part of Iron Man 2?
Yes, very similar to Iron Man 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I called it a yuppie truck.
actually, the big question here is, and Mike, this will be a discussion more for off the air than on the air. But the week after Thanksgiving, are you going to be home-ish? Are you going to be around town? We'll put it that way.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like me to mail you Ski, which I've been trying to do for like 3 months and not done it? Or would you like me just to bring it to you?
Oh, well, that's entirely up to you, my friend.
I am planning a trip for a couple weeks. I have people watching the house. But the wife and I are going to go away. We'll be in Maryland, which is a heck of a lot closer than Illinois.
True.
So I thought, we'll work out the details later on, but maybe get together for dinner or something. And, exchange, give you some Ski, say hi again since it's been years since we've done that. And,
Want to say probably 14 years.
it's probably pretty close.
Because I think the staff picnic was 2004.
I think you might be right on that. So it's been quite a while,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought, hey, I could save myself postage and cost myself a whole lot more if I just take it to Mike. So, but yeah.
Not sure what that's in response to, but okay.
Oh, I don't know. Everybody likes to let us know what they're doing while they're listening. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, that is a good idea. Let us know what you're doing. We've heard from people that are in the bathtub. Now we've heard from people getting their hair did. And we've heard from people animating in Disney. Disney Australia, not Disney here. What are you doing while you listen to the show? Not just if you're a live listener, though. Let us know if you're a podcast listener. There are plenty of you out there. We want to know what are you doing when you listen to the show? Are you commuting? Are you having adult fun time? There's a question there. No. You shouldn't listen to us while you do that.
Thank you.
Unless that's your alternative to baseball. Okay.
No, I do not want. No, man, no. Reach over with your pinky toe and hit escape. Don't be.
Oh man, it seems like a lot has happened since we were on last. It's a few major things, and one of the things we'll talk about now, and we'll get into it more a little bit later, is I'm wondering. I know that the first 2 episodes are out. I've only watched the first one, but the new Doctor is now in.
Yes, the Doctor is in.
And, I am curious as to, because, primarily geeks here, what are your impressions of the new Doctor? Because knowing that this was a highly polarizing, thing. It's a female Doctor. It's the first time. Should it have been a lot of people think that it was pandering. How did Jodie do as the Doctor in your eyes? Colin, first.
I think she's been great so far.
Okay. Mike, did you watch it?
I've only watched the first episode, and I already see her possibly contending for one of the top 3 spots, or maybe even the top spot as a Doctor.
All right. See, this is another cobbler moment because I don't. I don't. There was no Doctor quality. I didn't get a Doctor vibe from her on that first show. It just wasn't there. There wasn't. Let me ask you, Doctorness.
Did you like Peter Capaldi as the Doctor?
He was. I'll tell you. Here's my order. Okay. Tennant.
Yes.
Then the kid. All right. And
the kid.
Yeah. Matt.
Okay.
All right. He's the kid. All right. He's the kid. He's younger than we were. He's a kid. Then Capaldi, and then Eccleston.
See, I go Tennant, Eccleston, Smith, Capaldi, and right now, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't stand Capaldi. I had to force myself to watch while Capaldi was the Doctor. I truly did.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Capaldi or the writing, but
agreed.
Just get tired.
For me, I loved his speeches. When he would get grandiose at the climactic point, and he would, that's what drew me in for that.
Well, Colin, I'd be curious. What's your ranking on the 4?
Yeah, just looking at the recents.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd be Baker.
So
Tom Baker. Forget Colin Baker. But no, I think I would flip Eccleston. I like Eccleston slightly better than Capaldi. So I think Capaldi might be last.
Okay, so for you then, does it go Tennant, Smith?
Yes.
Eccleston, Capaldi? Okay.
Yeah. There are Smith episodes that are my favorites, but in general, Tennant is by far better.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of unfair because Tennant had the longest tenure.
He did. And,
Smith, Eccleston was only contracted for 1 or 2 seasons? I don't even remember.
It couldn't have been. I would say it was probably only 1. I don't know.
Because he specifically, I think he took the role and basically said, I'm only doing this for right from the start. I think he only did it for 1 season.
Yeah, he didn't want to be typecast.
Right.
And he's one of the few ones, because he did such a short run, that he is not typecast as the Doctor.
Neither is Matt Smith. Matt Smith just doesn't get cast anymore.
Yeah. Now, Tennant just did a thriller horror flick, called Bad Samaritan.
Tennant also did Broadchurch, both the British and the American version.
Yeah, Matt Smith is just starting his post. I mean, I think he's been doing stuff, but not anything I've been seeing. Technically, Tennant and Smith have the exact same number of seasons.
Okay. Wait, what?
Same number of seasons, but what about number of episodes?
I wasn't counting episodes.
Because
that'd take longer to count.
Tennant and Smith?
Smith was in there longer than you think.
For number of episodes, let's see. Tennant had 13, 13, 13, and 5. And Smith had 13, 13, 13, and 2. Okay, so Tennant had exactly three more episodes.
Well, the thing you have to remember about Smith is he was in there longer than you think because most people only remember him with the last companion, okay? They don't remember Rory and Amy time, or they only remember, they only remember one set of companions with Smith. They don't remember the other one. So Smith was there longer than you think.
Yeah, but Tennant had 3, 4.
You can't call Martha Jones a real companion because she was in 3 episodes?
Well, hold on.
Now here's the weird thing.
We went down Doctor Who
for number of series. Capaldi matches. There was 3 seasons of Capaldi with 12 episodes, 12 episodes, and 12 episodes.
Oh, a lot less episodes. So I think that was part of his contract, though, was he said, I'm not a young man. I can't do this.
Yep.
So.
Now, also remember the very first episode of any Doctor is going to be the Doctor not really quite settled in yet.
Well, and that's what I want to watch the second one and see if everything's settled in and now it's better. So I won't, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to watch it. I'm still going to watch it. It's just how is it must-see TV?
It feels a lot more like Doctor Who than any of the Capaldi episodes to me.
Yep.
See, I've never seen Capaldi in anything but the Doctor, so
me neither. But you know what?
I kind of want to seek it out, but
you know what? I learned something today talking about seeing people in other things that you didn't expect them in. Last week we reviewed Magnum PI as one of the new shows out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I knew I had seen the guy who plays Magnum PI before, but I couldn't place where. All right.
Jay Hernandez, right?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Who here has seen Suicide Squad?
Yep.
He is Diablo in Suicide Squad. I did not know that. I'm like, the voice is so familiar, but the looks couldn't be more different.
He was also the boyfriend in Bad Moms and Bad Moms Christmas.
Yeah, I didn't watch either one of those.
I want to say he was also in the first Hostel.
Another show I wouldn't have watched. So
he was in The Rookie he was one of the high school kids on the baseball team with Dennis Quaid.
Okay. I don't remember that movie well enough to know where he was,
And this is all off the top of my head, so now let me...
Now, one thing that's interesting and should be kept in mind about this new season of Doctor Who is that according to the production team, they wrote the episodes before they knew who the Doctor was going to be. So they did not know the Doctor was going to be female when they wrote the episodes.
Okay.
I think if anything, that will do well for them because they won't have stereotyped it. If they stereotyped it male rather than female.
Yeah, they may adjust it a little bit. Like there's a joke at the end of the second episode. I've not seen the entire second episode. I just had to go to the end because I wanted to see the new TARDIS.
Okay.
I could not wait even longer to see that, but I didn't have time to watch the entire episode. But there's a joke there where she says, come to daddy. Come to mommy to the TARDIS.
Okay. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
He was also Shaggy. I know you saw the movie Torque.
You mean Turk? 182? Torque?
No, Torque. The motorcycle version of Fast and Furious. I know you watched that.
I did not watch it.
Damn it. I got to see if that's available anywhere because, damn it, that's going on the list.
That can be put on the list. That sounds like a horrible movie. By the way, we do have our movie feature review. It's not double feature because we're still looking at TV shows as we continue to discuss Doctor Who. We did watch more than that this time around. Not much more for me personally, but, I did, off of you guys' suggestions, I did set a couple other shows to record. I just haven't watched them on the DVR yet because it's been ridiculous. My wife hurt her foot last Saturday. We were delivering groceries to her dad, and she stepped on one of those sycamore seeds, foot rolled out from underneath her, and she fell down hard. And so she was out of commission Saturday night. Sunday, she finally said it was bad enough that we went to the prompt care to have it x-rayed to make sure she didn't break anything. Didn't break anything, but really stressed out the tendons on the top of the foot. Not tore, but really, strained them badly. So she was out of commission on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I was doing double duty as house husband. And, I don't remember how I got everything done when I was single. How in the world did I get laundry done, cooking done, cleaning done, and have a job?
Well, laundry's easy. When you're single, all your clothes fit in the washer all at once.
And that definitely could be one thing, is I was using laundromat washers. Although I have the front loading here, so you can cram them pretty full. But I will say I do know one difference was when I was doing laundry on my own, I had white lights and darks, and that's it.
I still have lights and darks, and I'm married.
No, see, we have jeans have a special category. Then there's work clothes. Then there's lights, and there's darks, and there's towels.
Okay. Towels and jeans will get their own, as well, and dog-related bedding will get their own.
Dog beds always get their own because they get 3 cycles. And
jeans can get mixed in with lights or darks, depending on the shade of jean, depending on how much laundry if there's room.
Yeah. So,
right.
And I guess one thing is I never had to worry about delegates either.
Yeah. There is no delegate.
Yeah. Men don't have delegates.
There's clean stuff, and there's stuff that this goes in the trash can.
Well, yeah. And
as Sinbad once said, when you get to college and pretty much single life, you got 2 styles, dirty and funky.
Yeah.
Dirty you can wear again.
Yeah.
Funky know its way to class by itself.
Exactly.
So I have a story to tell.
All right. Go for it.
This is a story related to my
story of a boy.
It is about a boy. It's my other nephew, Cole.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of started last spring. He decided to do track.
Uh-huh.
He'd never done track before.
Mm-hmm.
And so this fall, he decided to do cross country. He'd never done cross country before. Never trained. So I went to a couple of the cross country meets where I've decided that going to cross country meets is a lot of fun. You get to see your nephew, do really well in a race, and you get to sit there in a lawn chair and enjoy a park while people come running by every so often. So that's a lot of fun. He made it to state, which is amazing. He made it to state without really having, tried that hard training and such. So Saturday, we went to Bloomington Normal.
Okay.
We drove about a mile, an hour, to get to where the state meet was. So his was the last meet of the day. He starts off, and we're waiting. So apparently, the other kids running cross country, who are older than he is by a class, some of them don't know how to play nicely, and so somebody pushed him over. He fell down. Somebody else trampled him, but he got up. He finished the race. And he was still within seconds of his personal best. It was amazing.
Oh, he was Corky from that, Against the Fire video from Garth Brooks.
Yes. So today, he goes to Franklin.
Okay.
Franklin Falcons.
Yep. Do you know what that video is, Mike? Do you even know that song?
Nope. Country music?
Yeah.
Nope.
So, his school has TVs in every classroom, and they have a daily news program run by students. And so they, him and the principal and the other kid who are running, Anthony, they got up there and they interviewed Cole. Because Cole, his leg hurts. He kind of feels bad about being, falling down and that kind of stuff. And he gets interviewed. He gets asked by the principal what happened, and he told you he fell down, he got trampled. And he goes, "So did you manage to finish?" And Cole said, "Yeah, I finished the race." And he goes, and the principal goes, "Yes, that's because you're a Falcon, and Falcons always finish." And made this whole thing. So he was a little worried about the whole. Was he going to get somebody going to make fun?
The
of
principal
him?
was all ducks fly together, huh? And Cole not so much.
Well, Cole was a little worried that he might have some trouble. Especially if some bullies there at school. That kind of thing.
Preemptively, he took him out, right?
No, he was mobbed by girls after school, wanting his autograph and wanting selfies with him.
Okay. Well, next time, tell him to keep a razor blade in his cheek, and when those boys come around, just slice the back of their tendons off, right? Right in Achilles. They won't run again. We'll fix them.
That's
how smart kids deal with bullies.
I told him that was the only reason that would, if he had gotten up from after getting trampled and pushed over and had sprinted over and attacked the person who pushed him, that's the only reason we would have been disappointed by him and ashamed.
What?
The fact that he got up and finished the race, that was amazing.
So wait a second. Because it could be a different philosophy in family, I'll admit. All right? Because my rule growing up was, or the rule growing up for me was, you don't ever start a fight.
Right.
If you get it in one, you darn well better finish it.
Yeah, but not in the middle of a race.
Oh, it didn't matter where. It didn't matter where. No, the rules stood no matter what. Yeah. It was very much don't back down. Mike, how about you?
Never back down.
No retreat. No surrender.
I hear it in Jimonsun Hansen, whatever his damn name. I can't say his damn name. Papa Midnight from Constantine.
Yeah.
Never back down.
So,
give us free.
Yeah.
It's an interesting philosophy. I don't think it works very well in sports.
Oh, you'd be surprised. I think plenty of people have that philosophy in sports.
Yeah, those are the people who get thrown out of the game. And don't get to finish it.
Yeah, but they still have a philosophy.
Now, Mike, I can understand that. Mike plays hockey. There's people in hockey whose job is to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So here, hold on. I gotta show him, because Mike's never watched this, and this is a horrible quality video. So I sincerely apologize for the quality of this film.
Couldn't you have found it in VHS or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Because VHS would be much better quality.
Well, the sad part is I have this somewhere, but this video is hard to find anywhere, I think. Is this one any better? This one, nope, it's just about as bad. So, and here's where we get our copyright notice. So here, hold on. Let me go back here. We haven't had one in a while, Mike.
Good.
All right, so here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Hey, look at that. Down he goes. And there's Mom. And there's Dad.
Get away from him. Don't you touch him. He's not finished. Come on, Brandon. You got to get up, son. Come on. Come on. Get up. Come on. You can make it. Come on.
Is that Saul?
Yeah, you're going to finish.
No, it's not.
Bob Odenkirk? No?
I don't think so.
Surviving outside the fire.
And then here's where the tear parts come in. Come on. Get to it. There you go. So, yeah, it was like that, Mike. Aren't you glad we took that musical interlude?
Yeah, thanks. I really needed that.
Yes, that's right. Katie knows what to do. That's responsible, Mom.
Just so you know, so he his time was 12 minutes 14 seconds.
Okay.
For 100 meters? That's horrible.
Yeah, 2 miles.
Okay. That's better. Oh. So before the show, actually yesterday, I had posted this question because not only are we on the show geeks, but a lot of my friends on Facebook are geeks. And, it's not something that we necessarily do all the time. I'll say the last time I did this was probably 12, 13 years ago. It had been definitely a long time, but I was watching a video where somebody was testing keyboards. They had all these different they were looking at retro looking keyboards and they were trying to evaluate them. So the guy brought out and he said, well, I'll just do a typing test on each keyboard. Cause if I do he said, I'm pretty consistent. So if I'm worse, then it's the keyboard's fault. It's a crappy keyboard, especially when we just compare within this set of like 6 keyboards. What does my time look like? And I thought, well, you know what? I haven't tested my typing in forever. And I could swear, and this could be early Alzheimer's, catching up to me, but, I could swear at one point I was at 72 words a minute. Oh, so long ago, it seems. because I sent this out both as on PTR radios, and then I shared it on our on my page as well. And yeah, I'm not there anymore. Not at all. In fact, when I took it, I was at 55 words a minute with 99% accuracy, only because it made me upset and I had to go back and fix things. You know, so, and I took it twice and I got the same stupid score. So it didn't really, you know, it wasn't something where, what I liked about this one was it gave you a different phrase every time. Mm-hmm. So you couldn't memorize the phrase and then just speed up. So if you did take it multiple times, you found that out too. So I got 55 words a minute. Mike, you didn't do as well.
No, I did not. What I get, like 44 with 96%?
Yeah, you were at 45 according to your thing with 96%. But you said it could be due to lack of coffee.
That's true. I only had one cup.
You were going to do it again, but you
never did.
Meanwhile, Colin breaks out a 69 with 97% accuracy.
Yeah, that was I did cheat. That was my first attempt.
Okay.
I did try it again. Actually, I was getting more I was getting higher than that.
Yeah. A friend of ours that we used to work with got 89 words per minute.
That was better than I was getting.
That was pretty ridiculous because as I was reading, because I'm like, okay, how bad am I? And they said, well, as long as you're 45 or more, you're good. You're average or above.
Okay, I'm average.
So, you know, but if you have a chance, check out our Facebook page, and it's one of the first top links. Go ahead and take it. Comment what your score was. We're curious. It's not that we're starting a new steno pool or anything, and we're looking for the best candidates. We just want to know where we rank against the rest of our listeners.
Now, one thing I did do, and I forgot to record it, what it was. I actually waited till I was on break at work where I could use my good keyboard.
Uh-huh.
But I also did it on the Surface. And it was significantly worse on my Surface keyboard.
Imagine that, floppy keyboard.
So, just saying, the keyboard does make a difference.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine it definitely would make a difference. I would not do nearly as well on my laptop, per se, as I do on my regular keyboard. And, I mean, it brings out the question of, okay, Colin, you brought it up before the show. Mm-hmm. You know, it is, for us in the computer business, this is our tool.
Yes.
You know? I mean, this is what we use every day. We should have something that's good. Personally, I have a, dollar store reject one that I probably should trade in. This just came with a machine.
Yeah, it's a Dell keyboard. Do you even have any Dell computers?
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, not in the parts bin.
Yeah.
This is an interesting thought.
Mm-hmm. Feel free to do it on a cell phone and see how good your T9. I don't know if there's a T9 typing test or not. Remember back in the days on those?
T9, yes. Predictive text.
So, oh, yeah. And then, I don't know. I mean, you can do it on anything you want. Just let us know how good you are. Because I can't imagine if I was doing it with my thumbs, how slow I would be. Because there's no touch to that typing, The travel is weird. So, but yeah, Colin, you said you had a very nice keyboard that you used at work. Yeah. In fact,
I used a Philco Magistouch Ninja.
Yeah. So for those that are curious, this is what that looks like.
Almost looks like. You'll notice that the Windows keys have things on the top of the key.
Yeah.
That's to meet Microsoft rules on having the Windows logo on that thing. So what they do is when you open the box, you'll find the keyboard and a key puller.
And a new keycap.
And 2 additional keycaps that have the Windows logo on the front of the key to replace those 2 pieces of crap that Microsoft forced them to include.
Yeah, well, I assume they do that if they want to get a discount on the license.
It's to have the license.
Oh, okay.
You can't have the Windows logo.
Can't use the Windows logo unless you have.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just do what the cheap Chinese ones do and just write Win?
But that's a Philco. It is Cherry MX Blue keycaps. Which are loud, so I've actually added O-rings to the bottom of each key to make it slightly quieter, which then has my absolute favorite customization. I have 4 O-rings on the bottom of the caps lock key, which means
that to prevent you from hitting the caps lock, or
yes, You cannot. The way to hit the caps lock key on my keyboard is to push down really hard. Because I do not like caps lock keys.
Well,
They are evil.
It's that you're yelling more than anything else. Whenever you have to use
it's
them.
just that they get hit accidentally, then your password doesn't work, and then you're typing, and you look up and realize, oh crap, everything's. But I've seen people recently at work who use caps lock just to capitalize single letters. So they're like, if they like typing the word,
oh, that would annoy me.
they hit caps lock T, caps lock HE, and I was like, really? What brain damaged people did you learn how to use the keyboard? And I looked it up and discovered that's a relatively common thing of using the caps lock key to capitalize individual letters. And I'm just like, ugh.
I don't agree with that one. I will disagree all day long for that one.
It's like getting in your car and then taking the shifter and moving it to reverse, and taking your hand off, then putting it back on, and taking it back to park, and then taking your hand off, and then putting it there. And okay, now I can drive.
Now, Colin, you talked a little bit about your nephew.
Yes.
Now, one of the things that I traditionally hate is when bands or comedians or anybody brings someone on stage. And normally it doesn't matter what age they are. All right. I don't like it when you bring somebody on stage. I paid to see you and just you. If I wanted to see somebody from the audience, I'd go watch amateur night at the bar, open mic night.
Well, I mean, there are times I have two schools of thinking on this. The first is if they bring somebody up who has talent.
Yeah. But
okay.
But in that case, it's always a plant of some type,
Well, I have been to a concert where they brought somebody up on stage only to find out she did not know how to play guitar. And they brought her up on stage to play guitar during one of the songs.
So the question is, did she lie initially and say, I know how to play guitar?
Considering I was in nosebleeds, I have no idea.
Yeah. See, this is a case, and this happened with the Foo Fighters in Kansas City. This is back on the 12th. They brought a 10-year-old up on stage. Now, the first reason why I don't like this kid is looking at his hat. All right. It's just right away, I'm not going to like this kid, just simply because he's one of those flat brim guys. And that's just, no. You're destroying your kid at a young age. Teach him to do it like all the rest of us did. Curl it, put it in a coffee cup overnight, you're good. That's what Dad did. That's what Grandpa did. That's what built this country. Learn how to wear your stupid hat. All right. But in this case, all right, I might have to overlook the hat because, here, we'll just find out.
Do you play guitar, Collier? Put it in the mic.
Yes.
What songs do you know?
I know a lot of Metallica songs.
Oh! You want to do a Metallica song? You want to do a Metallica song? All right. Do I know a lot of Metallica songs? Me and Taylor know Metallica songs.
So they hand him a guitar almost as big as him.
Hit him with it, Collier.
All right. So that was them.
Now, here's the one thing that I didn't like about this video.
Uh-huh.
And if you listen to the next two songs, probably ain't as good as we thought.
Hey, I only listen.
And I'll leave it at that.
I usually listen a minute into the video because I know we're barely going to get that far.
I mean, I've gone on YouTube and you can find compilations of where people bring folks out of the audience to sing, and they're like shocked because the people singing are actually so good.
Yeah.
You can find those compilations on YouTube, and I'll watch those because like I've seen some of the reactions are just classic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like you mentioned earlier, the staff picnic. Now, I know, Colin, you weren't there, but when we were at AFRAM, the African American Festival, yep, and a chubby little white boy stepped on stage, and
chubby little blind white boy.
Chubby little blind white boy stepped on stage and was going to start, playing and singing. and the whole crowd started walking away from us, and then suddenly he comes out and just belts out a tune. And meanwhile, you've got two other blind guys backing him up.
No, only one.
Okay, one. Sorry.
Goldfingers was up there with him.
For some reason, Damon was up there too. But anyway.
No, Damon was not up there, and that became a bone of contention.
Oh, okay.
Because Damon got mad.
Oh, all right.
That he didn't get to go up there.
But yeah, so chubby little white guy up there singing, and all of a sudden, this sea of people who had been walking away from the stage did a complete 180 and came back, because they couldn't believe, what they were hearing. Meanwhile, Mike sprints to the car because I don't think any of us thought to bring a camera.
With Nate.
Yeah. So,
and Nate and I are not small people.
No.
None of us are small people.
No.
And here we are, two white boys running through an African American festival.
Looking like somebody who just stole someone's purse.
In retrospect, was not exactly a wise idea.
No, but it does still make for a great story.
Yes, it does.
And I found that true of just about everything. All great stories, in retrospect, were not good ideas. All right. It happens so much for me, at least. I don't know about everybody else, but for me, there are a few good stories, that were good times, birth of children, things like that, weddings, but most were poor decisions. So, yeah.
So, speaking of, though.
Yes.
Since this is an important plot point of a movie I just saw.
Mm-hmm.
Star is Born.
I have not watched it, but I've heard that it's great. Of course, I also didn't know it's been made 4 times before.
Yes, it's a very remade movie.
And I did hear, do not listen to the soundtrack because it will basically give away the movie.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to see the movie first before. But definitely, it is a good take your wife to the movie.
Okay.
It is not a good. Put it this way, the dog is getting. The dog
it's got old Yeller syndrome, is what you're saying?
Oh, no. It has I want one of those syndrome.
Oh, okay.
Oh. But the great thing is, I don't know if you heard about this. So the dog, whose name is, I think, Charlie, it is actually Bradley Cooper's real dog.
Okay.
So he got an award from PETA because he used his own dog. I was looking at that going...
So does Ron Howard get an award from, American Family Life for using his own brothers in his movies?
And father?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, just... Anyway, it's a... I forget what kind of dog it is, but it is very cute. And people are crying watching the dog. Not because the dog does not die.
Okay.
But people are, watching the dog, and this is actually Bradley Cooper's dog. Anyway, how big...
Bradley Cooper, on purpose, hit his dog with a car just for the movie, so that then he could nurse it back to health.
There was a car involved, but that's...
Okay. Yeah. I was guessing. I was told that it was a good movie. I haven't watched it yet. It's probably one of those where I will wait for it to come down. Evidently, Lady Gaga is not good on interviews, though, because they're doing press for the movie now.
Uh-huh.
And I guess she keeps saying the same thing over and over and over and over again about Bradley Cooper. The exact same words.
Are you talking the press junket or the actual going on TV with Ellen and stuff?
Evidently, it was everywhere.
Okay, if it's the everywhere part, that is completely and utterly understandable because they're basically scripted. A little bit of Hollywood trivia that probably nobody else cares about. So what they do is they get a large convention center, and they fill the convention center with all these booths where people are going to sit. And then they take the stars and they take them to each of the seats, and they have 2 minutes to ask questions, and then they stand up and go to the next one, and then they go to the next one, and they go to the next one.
Yeah, it's just typical.
Meanwhile, the
press
star
tour
in question has been doing this now for 2 weeks,
and
has not slept in 3 days, and is being asked the same question over and over again, and so they keep doing the stupid answer over and over again.
Yeah.
That's my point is to say Lady Gaga keeps giving the same answer every time, missing the point that every movie star in every movie gives the same answer every time to the same question being asked over and over again.
I know, and that's why it's really behooves the interviewer to mix it up.
Yes.
You have to, you have to say something like, at any point during the filming, did you just want to shave Bradley Cooper's head?
Yes, and then you get a fun answer.
Then you're starting and then what happens is you get more than your 2 minutes.
Well,
because the stars are having fun, but you end up with these copycat reporters who have no imagination and just want, and here's part of the problem is part of the time, or most of the time, their questions have been pre-screened.
Mm-hmm.
So they're afraid to deviate.
And the answers have been pre-written by the PR folks.
So what you have to do is you have to say, damn it all to hell, I'm going to go ahead and get the question in that I wanted to, but not insult them and make it fun for the stars, because the stars can override the press agents.
Yes.
Okay. If you make your impression and say, hey, listen, that guy was a lot of fun. He broke up the monotony of this crap. Then you're going to get more people back again.
Yes.
And you'll get a little bit more liberties the next time you have an interview. I don't know why we, who have interviewed like all of 3 people, have to give the rest of Hollywood tips on how to interview famous people. I mean, Dan from Run P and Big Sal E. Graziano are probably our biggest draws for interviews so far.
Well, we did have the star and writer-producer of the movie Someone.
We did from, that was Guerrilla Productions?
I think so.
So
it's really
take
easy.
it from us, you're entertainment experts.
That's really easy. Like, for someone who is a music star like Lady Gaga, go find their most popular album, find some song on that album that was not famous, but probably meant something to them since they bothered to put it on the album. Ask them a question about that song.
So, like, if let's say, Mike, you were Bradley Cooper, and I was the interviewer, I'd say, Bradley, did you ever think to ask Lady Gaga how her meat dress tasted after the awards ceremony?
We actually talked about that once, and she told me how she was able to grill it and saute it with a little bit of mushrooms and onions, and she fed pretty much all of Uganda.
So, at least you're getting something different,
Yeah, I mean...
It's like, there was an interview, I think it used to be called Quint on 80 Cool News. But he would talk to like people like Harrison Ford and stuff. And he'd bring up these old movies that they were in that nobody else remembers.
Oh, yeah. I used to love it when James Lipton would do Inside the Actor's Studio, and the star would go, where the hell did you dig up that movie? I barely remember making it, and I know it was the first time I was on film,
But I'd be quite happy to talk about that.
Yeah, nobody knows that movie.
No one's asked me about that in years.
If I ever got a chance to talk to Jim Carrey, I would ask him, why don't you ever discuss your time filming Once Bitten?
Yeah.
Every biography that they talk about him and his career, they skip over that part.
I know. Mm-hmm. And that was a good movie.
They go from the Duck Factory to Ace Ventura.
I'm like, Once Bitten was a great 80s movie.
And he would probably be happy to
I don't know.
more time to talk about it.
I've actually kind of heard a rumor that he hates that movie.
Oh, okay. Still.
Let's hear Once Bitten. Let's hear.
That's called taking that 5 minutes of research to make sure you're not going to ask something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do not ask Eddie Murphy about Pluto Nash.
Orbit. Oh, no. Pluto Nash.
I like Pluto Nash. I would give him props and say, you know what? I think of all your movies, I like Pluto Nash the best. And just throw him off and just, Well,
you're probably the only person in America that did.
I bought 300 copies. Just say, you know what? Beverly Hills Cop, not so much. Pluto Nash, finest work, my friend. just to look and just because he's either going to tell you get out and get out now, or he's going to go, "Let me damn, you're a funny son of a bitch."
You're almost crossing into between two ferns territory with some of these questions. You know that, right?
I know.
Or it'd be like, the only thing that would have made Pluto Nash more enjoyable for me is if you somehow worked your song "Put Your Mouth on Me" into
in the butt
soundtrack.
In the butt.
In the butt.
Eddie Murphy in the butt.
That was not really a song of his.
Yes, it was. It was really a song. Yes. Boogie in your butt.
Boogie in your butt.
Yes.
Okay. I saw that when I was looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. We got to go back here to Bradley Cooper because apparently.
Oh yeah, it's a golden doodle.
Is it? All right. Look.
It's a long-haired golden doodle.
I am going to get on my soapbox for a second here because PETA apparently gave him an award for his dog, a golden doodle, which is the number one, tied for number one with Labradoodle, crossbreed, backyard bred dog
which
in
he
America.
Got from a shelter.
Did he get it from a shelter?
I believe he got it from a shelter.
I'm not saying
I'm
he went
checking
to a
make sure
breeder
because I could be wrong.
I'm not saying he went to a breeder. But what I'm saying is PETA, the organization that thinks all pit bulls in America should be put down.
Yeah.
The organization that operates one single shelter. Oh, yeah, okay. While we're here, let's jump to this because I'm pretty sure I shared this somewhere. Hold on.
The PETA story?
Yes.
Yeah, you did. I'll bring it up as well over here.
Where the hell is it?
It's, you sent it on the 8th. I got it here. A seafood restaurant is destroying PETA in an epic Twitter feud.
Oh, yes. So, in this particular instance, PETA decided to put a billboard.
I got it. Okay. So, there's the billboard. It's a crab, and it says, I'm meat, yes. Not meat. See the individual go vegan. So, they're not even saying vegetarian. They're saying go vegan.
There we go. So, PETA decides to put this up outside Jimmy's Famous Seafood.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's Famous Seafood is, without a doubt, completely unintimidated.
Oh, yeah.
You scroll down here, Shag, and they show, okay, so there's the original.
Yep.
Right? So now you scroll a little more. This is the picture that Jimmy's Famous Seafood posted.
Yep.
And said, come on outside.
Yeah.
So then...
You know, it's 8,300 likes on that one.
And that was at the time the article was written. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine
a lot more.
Yeah.
Jimmy's went back and actually started quoting facts about PETA. Started calling PETA out like this one, posting up their platter of crabs. Good morning.
Yeah. Look, we won't give you hair advice. You won't give us business advice. Cool. Oh, man. And then when you get, 13-year-olds that use phrases like lame AF, can we not
Twitter
just all be besties?
Twitter's got more than 180 characters now, so you can spell it out.
Yeah. And salads are better. No, they're not.
Yeah. Jamie's is good. They're not quite as good as Wendy's.
I like that. She's still not going to date you.
Well,
I like that one.
Wendy's has a different scenario going on.
Yeah.
Wendy's is doing it. They are straight up for PR when they do it.
Yeah. Wendy's knows what they're doing.
And here's where he starts quoting actual facts about PETA.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
One shelter in Virginia with a kill rate of over 90%. That means 9 out of every 10 animals that come in the front door leave through the back.
Yeah.
And they ain't alive. Then PETA starts talking about vegan options.
Yeah.
All right, so...
That's cute. You share articles you wrote yourself. Let's go to a third party.
See?
Yeah. Of course, it's from Huffington Post. I don't know that I give them a lot more credit, but, Oh. PETA's secret slaughter of kittens and puppies.
Now, Nathan Winograd is a well-known author of animal rights.
Okay.
And he actually wrote a book called The No-Kill Nation, which is kind of a guideline to how to run a shelter.
Yep. Animals don't exist to be exploited by humans. No, because they taste wonderful. We don't want to exploit them. We want to eat them. Rape jokes aren't cool. After you hit puberty, come tweet us again. We'll give you a proper roast. Until then, remember, the boogeyman isn't real. So, why do we need to know about moisturizer?
Yeah.
Because he looks so young. That's why we care. And then what's with painting the finger? You are losing credibility with everything you type.
Very much so.
Every emoji you use, you lose credibility. I'm going to start that hashtag.
Telling you.
So, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Don't start bringing up World War II. That just...
Yeah, no, you can't go to Hitler.
Not to the people in the UK. That just, no.
So... Then people start getting actual NBA players
Yeah.
involved.
You freak cupcakes.
Right?
I'm allergic to shellfish. Oh.
So now they're really they're up in the game.
1 lobster, 4 shrimp, 2 crab, and 1 lobster died to create this masterpiece. And it's still 35,993 less than PETA. Oh, that's great.
So that now everybody starts jumping in on the bandwagon. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And now they get into you purchase. PETA purchases stock. PETA owns stock in SeaWorld and McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I absolutely love it. If I ever
#steam them all.
Yes, I am so gonna go to this place and just say I'm here for the Twitter. That's it.
But I'll take one of those lobster things. So that
looks good. Yeah, that looks really good.
That looked pretty tasty.
They talk about like the diners, drive-ins, and dash effect. Like once a restaurant is featured on there, that they explode. I bet the same thing happens to places like this when they go viral for this Twitter feud. It's just, because they can't lose. They were not going to get these people as customers in the first place.
Exactly.
And the people that are their customers don't care what PETA is saying. In fact, I went out. There's a big, huge thread on the next door neighbor. It's the neighborhood Facebook type thing. And, it's people saying, this politician put a sign in my yard, didn't even ask permission. So I ripped it out and I threw it in the trash. And, somebody else says there should be an ordinance against political signs, because we're getting up to midterms. And, I just wrote, I'm like, well, never in my life has a sign changed the way that I felt. So all they're doing is contributing to the landfill.
Yeah,
it's true.
Especially for something that is, let's face it, a very large insect.
It is 2 steps away from a cockroach.
Yeah.
So,
a swimming cockroach. But it's tastier.
Yes. So, I just, and that's what gets me about all the people on Facebook that are the diehard politician, folks, not politicians themselves, but like their followers who just post stuff nonstop about for the right or the left. Doesn't matter which side you are. I'm offended by both of you. All right. You both suck, and I don't care who you're voting for because you're not going to change my opinion, and I'm certainly not going to change your opinion. So why don't you just keep it to yourself? All right. The old adage of forbidden topics, sex, money, and politics, maybe we should be a little bit more open about what we talk sexually, but money and politics definitely leave out of the conversation. Probably not talking about sex has gotten us into a few issues, which are just now starting to be realized, but whatever, one way or the other. Talk about it with people that understand and agree with you. Don't think you're going to do any good by talking to somebody who's of the alternate mindset, because it's just not going to work.
All right, so we are quickly running out of time tonight.
Yeah, boy, it is 7. It is an hour in already. Don't forget to. We'll take this opportunity. Don't forget to follow the show on all our social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at PTR Radio. Don't forget you can check out the website, ptrradio.com. And normally, if I had the cable, you could have called in. But right now, phone's not working. But you can text that number, 217-787-0232. And we will get your message. So if you feel like texting us, you can do that too. And you can do that anytime, not just during the show.
So I think we should go ahead and we should talk about this worst movie article that Colin sent out.
Yeah, so this is MSN did a list of the worst movies for every year since, what was the beginning?
1957 or something. It was a long time ago.
Since 1950.
Okay, and so Mike has been good enough to have broken it apart for us because MSN just had this little click the button and go next, yes. Which we all hate.
And by the way, I sent them a strongly worded Facebook message, and I did not hear back from them on it.
Somehow I didn't think you would.
I didn't think so either, but I always like to give them the benefit of the doubt of being jerks. So when I saw it, I couldn't help but say, hey, you guys suck. So let's see here. There's Colin Link. So yeah. So I found this on Facebook, and yep.
So I mean, we're not going to talk about all of them because there's 60-something movies on here.
Right.
So I kind of just listed from 74, which was when I was born, on in this sheet, just to kind of see from our life, how many of these do we know and how many do we disagree with?
So let's just start with our...
Because later on, Shaggy sent out a different link.
Yeah, that was based on critics.
Okay. And only one of the movies, and that was only from 2000, only one of the movies was the same.
Yep. Yeah, the one that Shaggy sent out was the Rotten Tomatoes, basically, worst reviewed. This one was more of an editorial decision by whoever at MSN decided to put the list together.
Okay. So the first movie that I did note was from 1959, and I think this is generally accepted. It's Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yes, that's, in my book, the second worst movie ever made.
1964 I put out, I just noted here, because there was a movie actually titled Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Yes, another very famous Mystery Science Theater episode.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're not going to run through a bunch. Right. We're not going to run through all of them here.
But some of these have very funny names. Like actually, the next one in your list was "Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia."
I never heard of it.
Never heard of it, but that's a wacky name for a movie.
At Long Last Love in 1975. It starred Burt Reynolds and Sybil Shepherd. I never heard of it.
No,
I'm sure Burt Reynolds would rather you didn't.
Well, right now he doesn't care about anything because he's kind of dead.
Oh, that's terrible. 1976, The Missouri Break, starring Marlon Brando and Jack Nicholson. Never heard of it.
But it sounds like it should be awesome. Both of those people can act.
Yeah. And I think Harry Dean Stanton was in that as well.
Now, wait a second. Oh, I'm definitely going to have some problems with some of these movies.
Oh, yes.
Telling you that right now.
Yes, 1977, Exorcist 2, The Heretic. I agree that was a bad movie.
Yeah.
That was
Especially, I mean, I'd feel bad since that's my birth year. But since Star Wars is also in that year, I'm like, yeah, who cares? I'm covered.
So let's just jump down here to 1982.
Yes, I disagree with this one.
Oh, hold on. I want to go back to 1979.
79.
All right. Caligula.
Really? You want to disagree on Caligula?
Because I was a 13-year-old boy, and there were a lot of boobs in that movie.
Well, there's more than boobs in that movie.
I know, but that's the only thing I was paying attention to.
That's the only thing anybody pays attention to in that movie.
I know. That's why both my dad and my brother-in-law have a copy. That was... All right, 1982.
The Toy.
Yeah,
that's an important movie for my childhood.
Yes, Richard Pryor, Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, it proved that white men, if they have enough money, can buy a black man for their son to play with.
Ned Beatty.
I
mean, that was a good movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was good. It had social themes. If this was the worst movie of 1982, according to these critics or this writer, what other crap came out in 1982? 1982, E.T., Blade Runner, Poltergeist, The Thing, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Tron, Conan the Barbarian, 48 Hours, Rocky III, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, The Dark Crystal, Tootsie, An Officer and a Gentleman, The Verdict, First Blood, Annie, Sophie's Choice, The Secret of Nim, Cat People. Come on, that had to be worse. The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, The Beastmaster, Pink Floyd, The World According to Garp, the original Swamp Thing, Victor Victoria, Creep Show, Gandhi.
Okay, so 1982 was just a good year for movies then.
Oh, it was. Well, no, Grease 2.
I thought so. Okay.
Because also in that year, Airplane, the toy, obviously, Airplane 2.
Airplane 2 is good.
Zapped, which I liked a lot. I know a lot of people don't. Friday the 13th Part 3, I have no idea. Yeah, there's a lot of other... Night Shift, good movie. Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's a lot of other horrible movies in there.
There's a lot of important movies from my childhood in that list.
There is. It's like 1982 was the year that they decided to make good movies.
I mean, I wouldn't say Firefox, for example, was a great movie, but it's a movie I remember watching a lot on cable.
That was an important movie of my childhood. You are correct.
But this list complained about the toy is like legitimizing modern slavery. And I'm like, no, the movie is about...
That's what it was arguing against.
Exactly.
I mean, that was If they watch, you know what happened? A millennial watched that movie for the first time now.
It's like watching Big and complaining that this movie's terrible. Listen, kid, being an adult isn't always cracked up to be. And you're like, that's the point of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
let's keep going. There are some on here that I definitely agree with. Some are just standard bad movies.
Okay.
But
1984, Cannonball Run 2. Not a bad movie.
Not bad enough to be on this list, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely not.
I just want to point out that 1983, 1985, 2000.
Is it Travolta heavy?
1993. It's very Travolta makes a lot of appearances on this movie.
Yes.
Or on this list.
Some
Staying
of them
Alive.
are earned.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so 1986, Howard the Duck.
Cult classic.
Yeah.
Definitely a cult classic.
I mean,
to the point where they included him in a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. All right? That's how iconic that character is.
No. He's
Howard the
iconic
Duck
because
was
he's from
a
Marvel.
member of
Yes.
the Guardians.
Yeah.
He is an important comic character. Has nothing to do with the movie.
I just mean that the character was enough beyond the scope of the the comic books to be included in the movie.
Yes. 1991, Highlander 2, The Quickening.
I didn't watch
I have mixed feelings about this one.
Yeah, I've fixed too.
The cinematic version where they are portrayed as aliens, I 100% agree, was terrible.
Yep.
I believe it's called the Renegade cut, where they get rid of that whole alien storyline.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yes. I am completely on board your bus there.
Okay.
But I do want to go back to 87.
Please sit in the back. 87. This is, okay, from 1987 until 2003, this was the bar of box office bombs.
Right. So I'm looking at 1987, they put Ishtar on. That's just unimaginative. First off, Ishtar...
Isn't that considered a classic?
No, Ishtar is famous for being a bad movie that lost money.
Okay.
But Ishtar made money. That's what's hilarious. Ishtar is actually a movie that made money, did pretty well actually. It's only famous for being bad because it's famous for being bad.
Now,
that's it.
1992 was Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yeah, that's just a stupid idea.
Which I was gonna say it was the first show to show Sylvester Stallone in a comedy, but it actually wasn't because Tango and Cash came out earlier.
And didn't
and Over the Top was before that. But prior to that,
wasn't he in a movie with Dolly Parton?
Oh, Rhinestone. Yeah,
Rhinestone.
That was in 84. I don't know if you call that a comedy though. Wasn't that more of like a rom-com?
Okay, you're.
I know I'm splitting hairs, but you know.
Yeah. That's followed by Look Who's Talking Now, which I don't know, that barely qualifies as a movie for me.
How long did it stay in the theater? 3 days?
Well, that was the one where the dogs talked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, right? And Bruce Willis and Roseanne Barr.
No.
That was the second one.
Those were the babies.
Oh,
the
okay.
second one.
I got confused.
It was Shelley Long and Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Really? The dogs.
As dogs.
Yes.
Danny DeVito works as a dog. I'm not sure about Shelley Long, but Danny DeVito,
she was a
bulldog, so that works.
Well, she was a poodle.
Yeah, she was a poodle, and he was just a mutt. He wasn't a...
Yeah.
He was a mutt.
94, one of the most famous movies for being bad is North.
And then 95, a horrible movie, but everybody, I think, watched it because they wanted to see Jessie Spano strip and see how bad her boob job was.
And see how her career was destroyed.
Yep.
Yes. Showgirls. 96, Striptease. See, now we're getting into the era where people are going to remember these titles.
Yes.
Yeah, that was Demi Moore.
Demi Moore and Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, not learning the lesson from Showgirls.
I think they did it better, though. Wasn't that better received?
Yeah.
I think it was better received.
Because she was actually fighting for custody for her kid, and that's why she was stripping, as opposed to Jessie Spano, who was just doing it for, like, blow money.
Showgirls was the first movie released with an NC-17 rating, wasn't it?
I think that might be correct. The first one in major motion picture theaters.
Yes.
There were probably other ones in...
Yeah. You know, I think Striptease was actually... Burt Reynolds was well-reviewed in that movie.
Yet again, he played a dirty old congressman.
Yes, I believe Burt Reynolds hated the movie, but people thought he did a good job.
He seemed to have a revolving thing with that, because he also hated Boogie Nights, And he, to the point where he fired his agent after he got done with the show.
That was one of his best roles, I think.
Right. And then he got nominated for an award and he hired him back.
Yep.
Well, at least he is able to admit that he was wrong. 97, this one deserves to be on this list.
He didn't get it. He didn't get the movie is the problem. He actually admitted, he goes, I didn't get it. I didn't understand what I was doing. And I guess somebody interviewed Mark Wahlberg, and when they first started shooting, Burt Reynolds wanted to do it with an Irish accent. He wanted to, so I guess it was just hilarious. And the director said, I know you don't understand it, but just play it straight. Just use your own voice. Trust me, it'll be okay.
Now, okay, let me pull up Shaggy's list because we're getting into that era where we have the
conflict.
Discrepancies. Yeah.
Well, that one starts in 2000, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so 97, we have Batman and Robin, which destroyed superhero movies for many years.
Yes.
So that one definitely deserves to be on this list. I do not agree with 98.
I absolutely do not agree with 98. Armageddon was not a bad movie
that was
at all.
A huge box office hit and held a record for a couple years.
I mean, it was cheesy as heck, but it was much better than Deep Impact. Nobody even remembers Deep Impact.
No.
I remember Deep Impact as the not Armageddon.
Exactly. That's the only thing anybody remembers about it.
Right? They came out around the same time, in the same year, the same way that Tombstone came out around the same time as Wyatt Earp, and they're telling the same story differently.
You know, it's the same thing as Red Planet versus Mission to Mars.
Yep.
Those came out within a year of each other, and, you know, which one had Tim Robbins? Which one had, Val Kilmer? Which one? I don't know.
Yep. Armageddon, everybody agrees there's no good science in the entire Armageddon movie. No. But it's a fun movie. That does not be... Anyway.
Absolutely.
Then it follows 99 and 2000 with two bad movies. But 99 is Baby Geniuses. That also seems like a lame giveaway. You should be able to find something better than Baby Geniuses to put on a list of bad movies. But 2000, the absolute worst thing with a budget.
Here you go. Example. In 99, Star Wars Phantom Menace came out.
That's still...
Is that not the one with Jar Jar Binks in it?
Yeah, but that is better than Baby Geniuses.
Jar Jar Binks and Mannequin Skywalker.
Yeah.
But that was Sleepy Hollow with Tim Burton.
Eyes Wide Shut. That didn't get very good reviews.
No, that was terrible. But it's Stanley Kubrick, so you're not going to...
Yeah, you're not going to
He's a genius.
10 Things I Hate About You.
No, that was actually not a bad movie.
I don't just...
Nope, I don't. The Cider House Rules, never watched it. Tom Trent, boy, that 99 was actually not a bad year for movies.
Well, Stuart Little. I might put Stuart Little.
I don't know. People would say Wild Wild West was a horrible movie.
You know what? Wild Wild West goes on this list much better than...
They would say it's the worst movie that he ever made until he made the one where he wrecked the ship on the planet. And his son got in it.
Oh, After Earth?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. 2000 Battlefield Earth. That's just, there is no worse movie.
Okay. And according to this other list, which is the critics list, in 2000, the worst movie is Strippers.
Which I had never heard of before.
And I don't recognize either of the folks in the picture for it. So.
No. So that's why you can't just go off of some, non-editorialized list. You can't just use some random...
Now 2001, I might agree with him on, though.
Oh, yeah. What did they say? Glitter? No. I'd much rather watch Glitter.
Yeah, Glitter, according to Colin's list, with Mariah Carey, versus, on my list, Freddie Got Fingered.
I'd rather watch Glitter.
I'd rather watch hot pokers get put into my eyes than either one of them. But
I'd rather watch neither one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. If I was being forced...
I had never heard of from my list on 2002 Vulgar.
I never heard of Swept Away on Colin's list.
And then Jiggly.
That was famous for being bad.
Versus The Singing Forest, which again, never heard of in my life.
Okay, here's the summary, and then you can decide. 2 lovers killed during the Holocaust are reincarnated. The first soul to return now has a 22-year-old daughter who is now in love with her father's past life lover. That just sounds like a...
I think we've watched movies off of YouTube that had better plots.
Yeah.
FDR, American Badass. I'd rather watch than that.
I'm sorry. Let's go back. I need to read this review.
The Singing Forest was written and directed by Jorge Amir whose film Strippers opened 3 years ago and remained the single worst movie I had ever reviewed until now.
So I appreciate movies that create good reviews like that.
In 2004, it's either Catwoman, the Halle Berry version, or National Lampoon's Gold Diggers.
Catwoman.
Tell you, I never watched either.
I got to go with Catwoman because
anytime the budget wins, a bad movie with a big budget wins over a bad movie with no budget.
Yeah.
And then in 2005, it was Colin's List Dirty Love with Jenny McCarthy versus my list, which had Chaos, which had nobody I know from it.
Yeah. So I have no opinion on this one.
So going down and just hitting the highlights from my list, in 2007, it was Daddy Day Camp, which I heard was horrible.
Versus Norbit on my list.
Yeah. Miss March in 2009.
Versus Transformers Revenge of the Fallen.
But I think mine's worse. Then there's a parody movie called Vampire Suck in 2010.
Yeah, that can't wait. 2010, Last Airbender. That is definitely wins for worst movie.
Yeah. Now, this is where I think it's kind of funny because in 2011, you have Jack and Jill versus Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star. And I swore they were both Adam Sandler movies.
I'm seeing the picture on Shaggy's of Bucky Larson. It looks like a scene from Jack and Jill.
Yeah, it does.
So, not sure.
Bucky...
Yes, Adam Sandler is in Bucky Larson.
Okay, so either way...
But he's not the
Adam
lead.
Sandler...
Nick Swartzen is the lead.
Okay.
So, 2011, the winner is Adam
Sandler. That's the winner.
To see.
I don't... 2017, obviously, they said the Emoji Movie versus my list said 2017, the worst movie was...
The Emoji Movie. That's the only one they agreed on.
Yeah.
But here's where Shaggy's list lost me for credibility.
It was in 2016?
In 2016. Because they talked about... They got political. And they said the worst movie was Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party. That's where I kind of said, okay, Shaggy's list is bullshit.
Yeah, and that's the result of a quick Google search for worst movies.
Yeah, that's no reflection on you. The only other one I want to mention here off of Colin's list is in 2014, Nicolas Cage starred in a remake of a Christian movie called Left Behind.
Yes.
And even the Christian movie community hated this movie.
Yes. They hated the first one, too.
Yeah, well, I think Born Again's like the first one, but...
Well, were they the same? I guess it was the same movie. Huh.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the same plot.
The books were fun. It's the people who don't think of them as science fiction like I do. Don't think of the Bible as science fiction, but the Left Behind books, that's just science fiction.
That series. Yeah.
I will put my flag in the ground and say the Book of Revelation, which, by the way, is not the Book of Revelations. It's one Revelation. Shouldn't really be there. That's just me.
Is that where all the begaths are? Because that one lost me when I first started reading it.
No. The Book of Revelation is a political creed written by someone a long time ago talking about how bad Rome is and it's going to fall.
For the first time ever, we discuss Bible on the show.
And somebody at some point decided it was a good idea to stick it at the end of the Bible. But that's the one that basically says it's about the Antichrist and all that stuff.
Okay. It's the bad
Behold, the pale horse.
Yeah.
All right.
There's nothing to do with the rest of the book.
One more list before we get to the nitty gritty. We always hate these things. 7 things that will be gone by the end of 2030. All right. And we love to tear these apart because they're either already gone or they are not going anywhere fast. So, number 1, payphones. I found one in the wild the other day.
Yeah, payphones do exist, and they probably will continue to exist.
Oh, but they're only used by drug dealers now.
No, only stupid drug dealers would use them.
iPods. Standalone iPods that aren't part of a phone is what they're discussing here.
They barely still exist now.
Apple's already discontinued the Shuffle and the Nano, and the iPod Touch will most likely be the next one to go.
So here's my thought on it. The main reason I got an iPod was because it was more efficient than a CD changer in my truck, right?
Yeah. Well, you remember when we first started having CD changers in vehicles, it was the kind where I'll put it in the trunk and it'll store my 10 CDs or my 20 CDs, And then when I park, I'll have to decide what I want to listen to.
Yeah.
And switch out the cassette of CDs.
Right. So as smartphones get more prolific, and the integration of those phones into the cars, I can see standalone iPods fading away.
Well, I can tell you this. The radio in my car is an Android tablet.
Yeah.
From the factory. And I know that because I have the option to sideload APKs onto it. So there is no doubt it is an Android. Number 3, remotes.
Yeah, they're just stupid.
Yeah, this is just a dumb comment. I don't care how many speaking dish remotes or Fire TV remotes commercials you show me. It's still much faster and much more efficient for me to pick up this remote of my Fire TV to do certain things.
But what I love about this is it says, but technology experts think that TVs will eventually be voice controlled, or you'll be able to use your phone as a remote. What?
Well,
I can do that today. Yeah. My TV is voice. But no, I am not going to sit there going, this is too loud, and start yelling at my TV. TV, volume down, volume down, volume down. Oh, that's too loud. Volume up. No.
See, and what's crazy is, I can do that right now. Alexa, turn down the volume. And see,
there it is.
And she moves down the volume.
Yeah. But you're never going to do that.
It's a pain in the ass. I'd much rather just grab the remote because it's only moving it down like 2 notches every time. And it's like, no, I want you to quiet.
Next one.
My head's going to explode.
Cords.
Yes.
So suddenly we're going to invent cordless
charging pads?
Yeah, wireless extension cords. Is that what we're going to get?
They predict electronics will use Bluetooth charging pads and Wi-Fi. So what are those things going to plug in with?
Yeah, they'll still plug into the wall with cords.
Is someone going to magically figure out how to resurrect Tesla and have him come and tell us how to do wireless power?
I was hoping you were going to go there. But yeah, that's... Okay, checks.
Already gone.
Yeah, they're pretty much... They're used by the elderly.
No.
And they're used by businesses.
No. I still have some doctors that... Well, I can't pay their bills online. I have to pay by check.
Say, I have a checkbook.
Say, I have checks from my...
Notice which way I put that, Mike.
Yeah. I have checks from my I have 2 checkbooks from my health savings account, but crap.
I can tell you how not going away checks are. There are 2, if you can see them, there's 2 manila envelopes hanging in my office because I get checks from clients, I get checks from family, I get checks from wherever. I use my phone to do the deposit, and then I put them in the appropriate envelope to hold on to.
These are all checks from my checking account.
Oh, you have double checks.
No.
You have carbon copies?
No. When we bought the house.
Oh, okay.
I got all new checks with
the right address.
And I have far too many because, when you order checks.
500 is a minimum, or 150 or whatever it is. Next one that's dumb.
If I need to send someone a check, I log on to the bank's website, put in the address, tell them how much it is, hit pay, and then they send them a check for me.
Yeah. The next one they say is going away. Cable television.
Honestly,
I think with all the subdivision of streaming services now, they're going to force us back to cable TV.
Now, what I'm actually thinking is that cable television is going to wind up being a giveaway.
To sell internet for basic channels. Yeah. Well, and it already kind of is now. And the last one, digital cameras.
Yeah, their explanation here is crap.
These days, only professional photographers generally use a nicer digital camera. Most of us like the ease and use of a cell phone to take pictures.
Now, if they said digital point and shoots, that'd be like, yeah, I agree.
Well, I don't even know that though, because you know what, say what you want about the cameras on phones. They can get as good as they want, but there still is a physical limit to how good they can get versus a huge honking sensor that you can put in a regular in a camera-sized body and adjustable lenses.
Right. That's why I said point and shoot.
Right. So for the average consumer who is not thinking about printing pictures,
yeah,
right, then I kind of agree with this. Do I think they're going to go away? No, but I think you're going to see less and less of them.
Yeah. And I will say, my wife's doing photo albums now.
Mm-hmm.
There is a huge amount of difference between the number of photos that I have of me when I was a child versus how many pictures we have of my daughter growing up. Simply, and especially like when you look year to year to year comparisons, when we first started getting smartphones with decent cameras, that's where most of my photographs are from. Because I'll agree with them to that. It is a pain to carry a second camera around with you all the time.
There is a strong market for amateur photography, and that will continue. And that's where, like the Micro Four Thirds market, stuff like that. People who want to buy like pinhole camera lenses, stick on a Micro Four. I talk about me, I guess, in some ways, but there's still a huge market for that kind of thing. The amateur photography market is huge, but people are not going to be buying point and shoot, fixed or barely zoom cameras.
Yeah, no.
Yes, I agree with you on that. Yeah,
you're right. The days of the fixed lens are definitely gone. So
if it will fit in your pocket, it's going away.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, you can get a Micro Four Thirds to fit in your pocket, but
not with the Micro Four Thirds is like the point and shoot, but uses DSLR lenses, right?
Exactly.
Right. So technically, yeah, it will fit in your pocket, but that's
the base will fit in your pocket,
because
but not the
you
lens.
can get that big honking lens and use it like a DLSR or what have you.
If you put a big
right.
But you can get a Micro Four Thirds, put a normal lens on, and then you can take really nice pictures, much better than a phone can.
Right. So I'll lump that in with the DLSRs. Those are not going to go away.
Exactly.
Right.
But like the the old Canon Power Shot or the ELF, those are going away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like traditional film went away or is going away. I dealt with somebody this last weekend who they were finally getting off of 35 mil. And he goes, honestly, it's just a pain to get it developed anymore.
Yeah, if you're not developing it yourself, and who the hell does that anymore?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, we should. It is 7:30, so we should start talking a little bit about television. We talked about Doctor Who before as part of our double feature movie review. This special edition, we are, I think, wrapping up kind of our discussion on TV shows.
Yeah, we probably will have more to talk about next time.
A little bit,
Since there's additional shows will be coming up next couple of weeks.
Yeah, like the Connors.
Yes.
The Connors.
I think the Connors is going to be back before next show.
And The Rookie.
I'm not excited about that one.
I don't know if I'm excited about it, but it is, that's...
It's Nathan Fillion, so I'll probably watch it, but...
I will tell you, as far as... I watched a couple of things while I was... These aren't new shows, all right? They've been out for a while, but they're new to me. Just so that you guys know, while my wife was laid up and I was waiting for her to distract me from one thing so that I could do something else, I did throw on some TV in the background. I started watching Disenchanted, which has been going on now for at least one season, which is basically, it's a Futurama in the past, is what it is. It's Matt Groening. It's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you like Futurama style animation, that's what it is.
Yep.
I'm like 7 episodes in, and I'm watching it to watch it. I don't love it. It's not great. Not great. The other thing I watched, which I mostly, Colin, I think because of you've watched a lot of these, is Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Oh yeah.
I started watching those.
He is really Jerry Seinfeld is really good at that interviewing thing.
So I'm only like 3 into that so far, so I have a long way to go to catch up.
Yeah.
But, I like that show because it is that interview style. So it reminds me of the David Letterman series that I watched last year, and I'm waiting for them to start the second series up on that. So those along with Doctor Who, that's kind of what I watched in preparation for this. I did watch the 3rd episode of Magnum P.I., just to let you know. Still doing good. I still like it. All right.
And it's likely to be renewed.
I am so far the only person in my family who likes it. Everybody else just says, it's okay. I kind of like it. I think they did a good job rehashing it, and
So some other information: Lethal Weapon looks like it's likely canceled. They've only
because I heard that Damon Wayans wants out at the end of this year.
Well, Fox has only ordered an additional 2 more episodes after their original order, and usually when shows do not get a full order like that, that's usually a bad sign. Fox has another show called Rel that's likely canceled.
Okay.
I think it's a new show. I think we missed that one. Everything else is still running. Blind Spot is likely canceled. I Feel Bad is probably going to be canceled. And everything else is running right now, likely renewed.
How about The Neighborhood?
No, wait, hold on. Marvel's
That's a new one that I
Inhumans.
watched.
Was that canceled
The Neighborhood
before?
is likely renewed. Marvel's
Okay.
Inhumans.
Marvel's
Is
Inhumans
canceled.
was canceled after the first season.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm looking at an old list then.
Oh yeah. That was absolutely terrible. In fact, that was beyond terrible. The coolest thing about that was the giant dog. So I did watch the first episode of The Neighborhood, and while it does play up the stereotypes, I think it's going to be pretty entertaining. I haven't watched the second episode yet, but I'm so far I have high hopes for that show.
But I know you might have been going down through channels, but I did read that those of you that are Iron Fist fans,
Yes.
that's being canceled.
Yep.
And
I'm not surprised.
I don't know how long Daredevil is going to be going for either, because evidently they're losing a major cast member. I read
really?
that today. Yeah.
There's some question there that because Disney is starting up their own streaming service, so
Yeah.
some of these.
Well, Iron Fist was generally panned.
Which is interesting. Iron Fist season 2 has been is supposed to be much better than season 1, but I haven't watched either season, so I don't know myself. What I can do is go through because everything we've talked about so far were likely to be renewed. It's more likely than not. There are many shows that are already marked as certain to be renewed. So if you're a person who wants to make sure that your show is not going to get canceled before you get into it, here's what you can watch. American Housewife on ABC is certain to be renewed. Bull on CBS, certain to be renewed. MacGyver on CBS, certain to be renewed.
Really? I'm actually surprised it's still on.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Almost
everything else is likely renewed.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is those are shows that were certain to be renewed even before the season started. And that's because they're all shows that are owned by the network that shows them, and they already have basically once you've had a certain number of seasons, then they are definitely going to be renewed because they've already. And that's the point where they sell the rights,
syndication rights
for syndication.
Yeah.
So once you do that, you have to have a couple more seasons to fill in the rest of the syndication contract.
So the only other show that I wanted to talk about was the return of Last Man Standing.
Yep.
It's the first episode. I was not a fan. I was very annoyed at the way they played it because the youngest daughter was recast.
I think they had to though, didn't they?
Well, yeah, because she signed on for another project, I believe, and could not get out of that contract or what have you. But they didn't even try to cast her with someone close to her in image. She's easily a foot taller, and she's blonde. And they made that a running joke throughout the whole episode, along with being on a new network.
Oh, that's the Roseanne thing of making fun of the replacement.
Yeah.
Worse.
They used to do that with Becky's.
But now it's starting to grow on me. And I like the tone of the show. And this is a case kind of like what you were saying, Colin, where it's a show that's owned by Fox. It was already in syndication, but now it was airing on ABC. Now it's airing on Fox.
Yep.
So,
and now it's owned by ABC again.
Is it?
Disney owns 20th Century Fox.
Oh, Lord.
So now Disney actually owns Last Man Standing. They don't own Fox, so it's no longer owned by the network. It's just confusing.
Yeah, it sure seems that way.
Because Disney is buying 21st Century Fox, and they're getting everything except the Fox News Channel and Fox itself.
Okay.
So they're getting all the studios. So they'll own all the shows.
Okay, interesting.
Including The Simpsons. If you can believe that. Disney would then own The Simpsons. Which The Simpsons actually predicted many years ago in one of the episodes.
Of course they did. Because if you have enough episodes, you predict everything.
Yes. I missed one of the...
They predicted Trump as the president.
Yeah.
All American on CW is likely canceled. I have no idea what that is.
All American, it's a football show where the head coach of Beverly Hills High recruits a kid from Watts to come play for them. I think.
And there's many other shows that are already ending.
Yeah.
And they're not on the list, like Gotham and Jane the Virgin and iZombie and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. They're all shows that are already ending.
Yep. So that kind of brings us up to date on shows, and then unless you guys had anything else to add.
I'm just trying to think what the standouts. I mean, I know we said the Connors, but are there any other standouts that are going to premiere before the next show that we got to make sure somebody watches?
We'll go through the list. The two big ones I know of are Rookie and Connors.
Okay.
And yeah, there is something else, but I can't remember.
So the movie that we had to watch for tonight, because we still picked one movie to watch, was the movie When We First Met, which is a Netflix original. It came out February 9th of this year. Approximate running time, 97 minutes. I did not have time to write a review, but I did watch it. Did all of us watch it this week?
Yes.
Okay. So
Colin sounds thrilled.
Yeah, I'm going to let Colin go first, just because of that tone. So, Colin,
okay,
give us your thoughts on When We First Met.
Let me get up the IMDb so I can know people's names.
Okay.
I was just getting up the premiere list to see what else was coming up this week. And see the Rookie, Splitting Up Together, The Kids Are All Right. Well, some of these are coming back.
Yeah.
No Malone?
No.
Oh, that's a movie coming up on Netflix. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. When We First Met. Like I said, it's a Netflix movie put out in 2018.
Yeah, so this movie...
Colin, tell us what you thought.
...has one of my absolute least favorite actors, which is Adam Devine. So far, anytime Adam Devine shows up in a movie, I hate that movie. In this movie, I gotta admit, so this is a mix-up, a mashup of Groundhog Day and that's Doctor Who, I guess. I don't know. It's a time travel movie where he time travels on purpose. But I was really afraid it was going to be more Groundhog Day than it was. In fact, after the first time loop in this movie, I was like, if he's going to keep doing this same time loop over and over again, I do not know if I can get through this. Here's the biggest problem with this movie. The biggest problem with this movie is, for some reason, Adam Devine is doing an imitation of Jack Black. So I'm not sure if this was supposed to be a Jack Black movie that they recast, but he is doing an imitation of Jack Black, and it is super annoying. But amazingly enough, as the movie progressed, it got better, and I found myself actually liking the movie, which I was very surprised to find. And I think it's because they didn't keep doing the same thing over again. They did find a twist, and that twist is, imagine Phil in Groundhog Day doesn't keep waking up on the same day. He keeps waking up on different days, and as he changes things in his life, it actually does change the future. So you have a guy going around time, and he's trying to get a date to be perfect, and then he comes across as a creep, knowing things he shouldn't know, and then he goes back to the future and then gets attacked because people remember that time loop, not the original time. So because of that, I actually started kind of liking the overall plot. But I still really, really hate Adam Devine. So,
I really hate that guy.
And in the end, I found this to be a smile movie. I think it's possible with a different main character actor. It could have been bordering up to Schneikes a bit. It actually annoys me that I kind of like this movie.
All right, I'll go next, Mike, if you don't care.
Go right ahead.
And then you can play cleanup. I love that that Colin hates Adam Devine for making a good movie. That's wonderful. That is what we strive for right here. All right. So as Colin said, this is a mashup of a couple of different genres. This is a unique twist on the time travel rom-com movie. So, you know, as Colin said, you do get this interesting perspective of he goes back in time and then he moves forward in time to see what the ramifications of his change was, which isn't something that we see very often in these type of movies. I don't remember seeing that before. Let alone some of the things that come towards the end, because a typical rom-com has the same formula over and over and over and over again. Okay. And that formula is, guy pines after girl rejects guy gets girl, guy loses girl, guy realizes girl who was his friend is really who he was in love with all along. Okay. That's a typical rom-com, for a similar genre to this. So I like the twist of how they did everything in this to facilitate that going back and forth. And I thought that, they did well by not having too many sets, so they kept their price point low. Because I think you see him in some total of like 4 places, and that's it. So there wasn't a lot of shooting locations for this film. All right. There was the party. There was the bar, which might as well have been in the back room of this bar, to tell you the truth. There was the back of a house. There was his house. There was her house. That was it. All right. That's the only places you ever saw.
And the park.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. But shooting in a public park is very cheap.
Oh, I agree.
All right. So I think they kept the budget low on purpose, and I have to tell you, I also had little hope for this movie going into it because I thought, oh my God, this is the guy who brought us Game Over Man. And that just sucked. And luckily, he was the only one from that trio in this movie. So that was the saving grace. And I do see where you get that he was pulling kind of a Jack Black with his expressions and stuff, but I think that was just his influence, much like Chris Farley's influence was John Belushi. Okay? You could see mirrored in their acting, methods, who they looked up to. So I could see where you're getting that from. I just see it as that's his style. Because maybe he hasn't gotten his own. I don't know. But I really did like this movie. I didn't like it shnikes. I also liked it at a smile level. I probably will watch this one again, though, just because I think it's quirky and different and good. And I have to say, not a lot of Netflix originals get that smile treatment. Mm-hmm. Bright got it. This got it. There's just not a whole lot of originals that aren't, major motion pictures. They get this. So, all right, Mike, over to you.
All right. So I'm pretty sure that seeing Adam Devine in the friend zone for an entire movie is about as realistic of a plot of any movie that we're going to review. Picking Count Basie as a jazz reference is kind of like picking Titanic as a cruise ship. I mean, maybe I'm biased because the Count Basie Theater is less than a half hour away from me in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Yeah.
She's marrying Green Arrow's brother. They live up to that. $20. Okay, this is about 10 minutes in. $20 says he's going to hook up with the photographer at the end of the movie. And there's the puke tub guy. Fantastic. 15 minutes in, we got a Wilhelm screen from the flick. Awesome. Here's a little fun fact. The photographer chick was Miss Teen USA 2004. And she is a huge advocate against drunk driving after her brother was killed by a drunk driver. But yet, she's in a movie that has a lot of subplots around drinking. Oh, hell no. So this is taking a BS twist on Big. Instead of a Zoltar, we got a photo booth. He's trying too hard, trying to impress the girl the first time he goes back. I swear he reminds me of me in high school. I'll be honest. What I want to know is it okay, so we've joked about Samuel L. Jackson having the MFer clause in his contract that he has to be allowed to say it at least a dozen times in any movie he's in. Does Adam Devine have a try to show your dick clause in these movies? Okay, so wait, now this is Groundhog Day meets Big. Fantastic. I think the next show we should just spend some time brainstorming and trying to pick 2 classic movies we can mash together into a plot and write a script and sell it to Netflix. They make a Bill Cosby joke in the bar area. Is that too soon? Finally sleeps with her and he turns into Sugar Ray.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. Running in leather pants is never a good idea. I don't care who you are. Leather pants in and of itself is not a good idea. But running in leather pants and trying to do parkour while you're running in leather pants, not a good idea. I laughed out loud at the American Dream costume, I have to say, and I may steal that.
Yeah.
Now I see that this is Groundhog Day meets Big meets the butterfly effect, which is the example you were looking for, where he goes forward to see what the results of So let's think of 3 movies to mash together now, fellas. We can do this. Spoiler alert. Who took my $20 bet? Pay up, bitches. Come on. Pay up. I also gave this a smile.
There we go.
It was better than the other movies we've watched that this guy was in, with the exception of like Pitch Perfect, because, well, that's a whole different kind of thing.
Yeah.
The story was tolerable. I don't know if I'd watch it over again. Maybe, but maybe not. I just think this story has been done before a couple of times. There was one movie with, it was an English movie. I'd have to look it up, where the main character goes into a closet to go back to change history and keeps coming back. And he does it all to make sure that him and his wife have a good life or what have you. But it was good. It was good. It was enjoyable. And I'm glad we didn't see too much of Puke Tub Guy.
What's interesting is I didn't realize who Mr. Perfect was until you just said Green Arrow's brother.
Yeah, it's Robbie Amell.
Yeah, I can't believe that I didn't put him together with Firestorm, or The Flash, or from The Hunters. He was in another movie that we watched, The Hunters, which was that Librarians ripoff.
Yes.
Librarians Warehouse 13 ripoff.
He was also the lead in a show on CW that was a remake of a British show that I loved as a kid called The Tomorrow People.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So one thing I realized, Mike, as you were giving your review, something else that's really interesting about the plot of this movie. It's really smart. He didn't, within his frame of reference, he didn't sleep with her.
How do you figure?
Didn't they that one time?
When he became Sugar Ray, you woke up in bed next to her.
He woke up after.
Well, but we know what happened.
But he doesn't.
That's true. He doesn't remember.
Within his frame of memory,
that's true.
He never slept with her.
True.
Oh my God, this guy was also in Ark that we watched.
That's right, Ark.
To say from a approach to the character, he never actually slept with her, so he doesn't have to live with the memory of having slept with her in a different timeline, and only he knows it.
That's true. Okay.
And I think that's an important thing to, as a character point. I like that.
I got you. Okay.
Maybe we're going to have to watch all the other movies that Robbie Amell is in.
Well, all we have to figure out now is what are we watching for next show?
Are we going to go back to 2?
Yeah, probably, because I don't think there's going to be enough TV shows to really warrant it.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and pull 2 movies. And how many do I have to choose from, Mike?
42.
42, 1 through 42, not 5,042, thanks. 42, 34.
Checking to see if it's still available before I announce it. Yep. Carpool with Tom Arnold. Oh, crap.
Was that?
I know this movie.
1996 movie. With Rhea Perlman as well. And David Paymer? Interesting.
I'm pretty sure I know this movie.
Must be.
It's still available on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and next one is 30.
Oh, God, no.
What?
Let me make sure this is going to be available.
It's on the bottom of the list. It should be available.
It's on Amazon.
Okay.
It's only 77 minutes, so that's the good news.
Okay. What garbage are we in for this time?
It got 4 stars on Amazon, though.
Okay.
Bubba the Redneck Werewolf.
I did not put that in there. I know that.
No, you didn't.
Well, it got 3 stars, 5.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Cracker County is under attack, and lovesick dog catcher Bubba Blanche has been transferred into a ferocious cigar-smoking werewolf in order to save the day. But first, he's got to conquer a beer or 2 and maybe a plate of chicken wings.
Can we find a trailer of this?
Sure. I'm sure we can. Why not? It's only from 2004.
Colin is desperately looking for a reason to veto.
No. As long as it's not that.
As long as it's not like Hick Trek, where it's
Yeah.
Okay.
Darkness is descending. Grave darkness. Darkness and doom. A great, great evil is on its way toward this town. There is only one who can save us. All hope lies in the hands of this warrior. A man of strength. A man of valor. A man of destiny.
Jeez. Oh, jeez.
Bubba, his name's Bubba. He was no different than the smoke, but now he's Bubba. Yes, Bubba. Bubba, the redneck werewolf. He loves his truck, he loves his guns, he loves his Bobby Joe's tight buns, and howling at the moon is really swell.
All right, hold on. We have to stop because otherwise we'll watch everything that's funny about this movie. All right, we're gonna stop it with 34 seconds left, and hopefully that's enough to fill up 74 minutes.
Hey, Dune is right.
What?
It is. It matches the time zone. So
yep.
I just when we check those, I always check for very stilted on a extremely bad camcorder style.
Yeah, no, it's not Hick Trek or that other one that was made for like $238.
Yeah,
you know.
Some of those could be okay, but there's a certain level of no, like that. There was that Scrooge movie that I tried to see once, and we watched the trailer for.
Oh, what about?
No.
Well, how about the last movie where they were just walking on a desert for an hour? You know, the chick versus the cyborg guy. I couldn't.
Was that Battle Space or Star Quest?
I think it was. Oh God, it's pretty sad when we have to ask those questions, isn't it?
It was.
Nobody would ever say that in normal.
It was Battle Space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was the one that was the kill it with fire.
Yeah. Whereas Star Quest was the one where the woman was brought out of stasis at the end of time, right? I think, and it was ridiculous. Yeah. We watched some really dumb stuff. So that you don't have to.
I gave that one a puke.
We watch it so that you don't have to. So
yeah. Yeah, folks, I mean, we've had some movies that were like hidden gems.
Mm-hmm.
Next episode ain't going to have that.
You never know. Maybe Bubba is a great movie, I don't think so.
Or maybe it'll make Teen Wolf look like...
No, Teen Wolf 2. It'll make it look like an officer and a gentleman.
It'll make Teen Wolf 2 look like Teen Wolf.
Yeah. Oh, all right. With that, folks, we are done for the evening. We'll be back in 2 weeks. That's right, October 29th. So right before Halloween, we'll be here to get you just a little bit more of your favorite TV show. Don't forget, check out the website, PTRradio.com. Follow us on TuneIn, Libsyn, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, wherever you want. Just to give you an idea, I use Podcast Addict, and right now, according to them, so do 621 other people use it to listen to PTR Radio. So, 621 subscribers.
Nice.
According to Podcast Addict. So if you have an Android device, use that one. We like it. We want to again thank Ski for helping out the show. We've got tons of prizes. Maybe next time we'll come up with a competition where people can enter before the show, and we'll give away another Ski prize pack just in time for things to start getting cold.
Yeah.
So, some topics are going to be covered on the next show. Slutty or scary, what's your costume? And all types of things that go boo in the night. So, again, we'll be back on the 29th. So before then, though, I actually have a personal appearance. I'll be at Lakeside Christian Church for their Trunk or Treat on the 28th. So if you see me out there with your parent or you are the parent, come up and say hi. I'll be the one in front of the front doors spinning the tunes.
Yes, and on the 28th, I will be the bingo caller at New Beginnings Rescues.
Hold on, say that one more time.
I'm going to be the bingo caller on the 28th at New Beginnings Animal Rescue's Designer Bag Bingo. And the night before, I'm actually doing a private function for a 60th birthday party.
Ooh, our older listeners will be happy that you're there. Folks, like I said, don't forget, check out the website, ptrradio.com. Follow us everywhere and subscribe. So with that said, I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I'm Mike the Ape Man.
Second Forkins, folks. We are done. Later.